All right, good afternoon, everyone. We are now going to get started with our Civil Service Commission meeting on Thursday, April 21st, 2022. And can you call the roll?
Mr. Mays?
Here.
Mr. McCookie?
Here.
Mr. Rhodes?
Here. All right, thank you. First on the agenda is the approval of the Civil Service minutes meetings for March 17, 2022.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes as recorded.
I'll second.
It's been motion and second that we approve the minutes. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposes? Motion carried. Next on the agenda is for police, the removal of a couple names from the certified police list. Chief.
Yeah, I come with two letters for removal of candidates. One's Anthony Sapone. There were some issues we found during his background investigation where there were some arrests that weren't disclosed and some other things he knowingly admitted from the process. And then the second candidate was Eric Reinhardt, and there was a lot of omissions on his application about employment and previous jobs and dates and times, and there were some concerns on our end because we weren't able to credibly check into his background either because he wasn't providing us with the proper information.
All right. Can I get a motion to remove these two names from the list?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second the motion.
It's been motion and second that we remove these two candidates from the certified police list. Any questions on the motion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposes? Motion carried. Let's go on to lateral hires.
Yes, sir. We have researched this topic for many months. There's lateral hires taking place throughout the state and the country. And with that, basically what a lateral hire is, it depends on what qualifications you guys as a body set. But normally it's some previous experience as a law enforcement officer, whether it be in the state of Ohio or somewhere within the United States. With that experience and their background, and if they possess the other requirements that we deem fit, it would bring them in as a lateral applicant to the agency where they wouldn't come in with seniority or different things like that pursuant to the collective bargaining agreement. But it would give us the opportunity to hire candidates who may have a little bit more experience in law enforcement. Very seasoned officers is what you look for, and we are really just trying to play catch up with other departments throughout the state and throughout the country. We have other agencies from Arizona, we have other agencies from California, we have agencies from New York actively pursuing officers from the state of Ohio. We have larger departments that surround us that actively pursue our officers for employment at their agencies. So we just want to open up the candidate pool a little bit more and have the opportunity to at least view laterals as a potential candidate for employment here with the department.
Chief, we fully support this. We've talked about it before. I know we had some I's to dot and T's to cross with regards to the language that was going to go into the document. Are we comfortable and confident that that's been done?
We are. There was a meeting along with Assistant City Manager, our Human Resources Department, and our Law Department, and we researched language from multiple different agencies and different communities and what their lateral language said, and we basically mirrored most of that. That was then reviewed by the Law Department, put onto this record that we have here that you guys see, and this is kind of what we have come up with as a group through our research, through the multiple communities that we reached out to draft this.
And the ultimate destination of this is in our civil service rules, correct?
Correct, sir.
The language that we're looking at here goes into our civil service rules.
Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead.
If I could add, we would need approval to post that for a 30-day period, and then it has to come back to this body for a vote. So I believe what we'd be looking for at this point is for your permission to disseminate this publicly.
I'll make a motion to post the language that's recorded here in the lateral hires language to make it available to all who are concerned for 30 days, at which point we'll revisit it and then have a little, we'll have a vote to add it appropriately.
Yes, sir.
I'll second the motion, but I had a question.
Does this end, is this a kind of a comment period? We're looking for feedback from the public on,
Yeah, any civil service rules that change, we have to do this public process. So it gets posted publicly, and then individuals can either send in their concerns or comments or attend to the meeting that we would schedule.
and I assume the law department will kind of tell us where in the rules they want to put this.
Yeah, it'll be referenced in the document when it gets posted. So it'll have the specific section and where it'll fall into the category for the entire package.
Okay, great. Thanks.
One other question, where does this get posted exactly? You know, so,
It gets advertised in the Sandusky Register, and then it gets posted at the library in a, I don't know
And
where
I'm
it gets
sure we'll do
posted,
it on
but.
our website.
And
Website,
then our
social
website,
media.
yeah.
Now that things are so electronic, you know, it needs to go definitely electronic then on our website. But in years past, we always did it at the library too. So I don't know why I would change that.
Does something like this warrant a press release?
Yeah, it would be,
Where we would say we're considering this change and bring
yeah, and then it gets like a legal ad inside the paper as well. We have to pay for that.
Okay. So besides having it buried back there in the legals, we expect there might be something from the newspaper might say, hey, here's some piece of news about Sandusky hiring policy for the police department.
We can certainly let them know that if
Absolutely.
they want to run that story, then that would be up to them. But yeah, we can certainly do a press release that we're doing it.
Yeah, it could
And
be-
I'm not trying to, well, yeah, I am trying to advertise it. I think it's I think it makes a whole lot of sense. And I think the general public, when they read it, they'll go, yeah, that's a no-brainer. Let's,
Yeah, I think it's, very transparent, and it's obvious that it's taken place throughout the country and, throughout the state. So it's a necessary evil, so to speak. But I think it's quite a good idea for us to get up with the times.
And when we post it as a notice. It's not gonna, we don't say at that point where it goes into the civil
Right.
service rules, that we post it as a notice for an addition to those rules.
what about social media? Anything on social media for this?
We'll make a press release, and whatever that press release says, I'll definitely share it on our Facebook page, and I'm sure the city would too.
And the city will.
Communications
Tom Morgan-
manager.
Yeah, our communications manager
Okay.
can do that.
All right.
Chief Oliver, if you could make a TikTok about it, I would appreciate it.
I'm not up to date on TikTok, but I can ask somebody to, don't worry.
Keith, I got your back.
Yeah, thank you, there you go.
All right.
I would say that the next hurdle, once this gets approved, is for the chief and the union to have a meeting in order to address the starting salary of the lateral transfers. That's something that he's kind of broached with them already, because we don't want to bring them in at, obviously, at the step one, because it would not incentivize somebody to come here. So that'll be, that's a contractual issue with the collective bargaining agreement. But once it gets passed, we'll have contact with the union and find out what step that.
I don't want to drag this out any longer. Have we taken the temperature of the union? Are they feeling comfortable at this?
Absolutely, everyone's very much behind this.
Okay. Aye. I don't know, I think,
All right, it's been motion and second that we send this or post this for 30 days. Any questions? Any other questions? All in favor, say aye.
aye.
Opposes? Motion carried. Okay, next on the agenda, we're going to fire the captain exam protest questions. Chief?
Yes, we do. We have two questions that were protested after the exam. There is, you should have in your packet a recommendation from Rudy Ruiz, the Director of Resource Management Consultants that gave the exam, on the answer to the two questions. And I actually have here a couple copies of the actual page in the book, so that if you guys wanted to look at it, you could evaluate those questions on your own. Or I have the books if you wanted to look into the book also.
I'd like to take the entire test.
take the entire. That one too.
No. I do have a question just about, is there sort of, in both of these, I had a quick chance to look at them. Are the answers all equally good, or is this a question, is there, choose the best answer? I do that with kids all the time on the test. What is the best answer?
Yeah, in the case of, let's say, question number 65, if you go, the questions are made up based on exactly what comes out of the book. It's like a comprehension test for the most part. So for question number 65, if you read the two areas that the protester said are similar, it does say the same thing, which can be confusing to the person taking the test. And the answer that he asked for, the remediation he asked for, is to give credit for both answers, 2 out of the 4 answers. The other question, number 5, basically that one comes down to exactly how it was written in the book itself. If you answer the question and you can recall exactly the way it was written, that one I don't really have too much of an opinion on myself.
Other than the 2 people that submitted the protests, will these answers affect anybody else's test results?
Yes, it'll change.
Protested, sir.
Oh, one.
It actually,
one
if you
person.
change it, it affects everybody who took
Yeah,
the
it'll affect
test.
everybody that
Right.
took it depending on how they answered it.
Right, so you'll go back and rescore everybody's test?
Yes.
But the only thing they're really asking for here is to either throw the questions out or to give credit for the 2 out of the 4 answers for both questions.
And as I read, the recommendation is that we give credit for either answer.
Yes.
Yes.
And just a follow-on question, would we then, we're not the authors of this test, right?
No, we are not.
So can we go to the authors of the test and say, look, we have a problem with these 2 questions. Could you clarify them in the next edition
That
of the
is,
book?
there is an explanation from Rudy Reese here that did create the test and administer the test, and these are his recommendations on what you should do. And he says to give credit for both. In the case of number 5, give credit for both C and D answers, and question 65, both A and B.
So they won their appeal for the most part, right? Whoever,
If you guys vote to change them, to change it to what the recommendation of the author of the exam is, yes, they will have won their appeal.
I feel like I'm at an NBA game where they're healing a call or something.
No other questions. I'll make the motion that we give credit to either answer, follow the recommendation.
I'll second that motion.
It's been motion and second that we approve these protests. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposes? Motion carried. Okay, next on the agenda, our favorite subject.
Next
More
month.
meetings. We always promise.
Yeah.
September, right?
I would say that we have to handle a couple important things. One is the lateral transfer, obviously, after that's posted, as close to possible after that to have a meeting. Secondarily, it's not been widely advertised, but the city and the IAFF, which is the fire union, we're in negotiations. We had a fact-finding report that came back, and ultimately, the fact finder had awarded the fire union 48 personnel, where they're at 45 right now. So ultimately, that is in conflict with some things in the state law and civil service, but it got accepted by the commission on a vote. So so the firefighters have 48 personnel in their contract now, which means that we're going to have to ask permission to do a new original appointment list coming up in the near future to accommodate being able to hire the 3 firefighters that we weren't planning on hiring. So those are 2 important topics I think that we can have at that meeting. The finance director is planning on going to commission for a budget amendment mid-May at their meeting in order to get permission to hire those firefighters because they weren't budgeted. So this will be the next step in the process. But Chief D'Amico has exhausted the list. So we have to start that original appointment process over. So if we could handle both of those in that meeting, then we should be not able to mess with you most of the summer, or a good portion of it.
How about first week of June? Would that be, I mean, or is that, do we want to do it before? I'm assuming there's going to be a little bit of lag with this posting, and then after it sits out there for 30 days, there's going to be a little.
30 days for this.
So that takes us to May 21st.
Right, so
Well,
the first week of June, you want us to, like, what, are you thinking of a day, or are you thinking, do you still want to do it at 3:45? Because you guys will be out of school by then anyway, right? So do you want to do it at a different time, or
It's fine with
stay?
me.
Is this a good time for you, sir?
yeah, I just, anytime we change a meeting time, you can count that I'm not going to be there, or I'm going to be late. You know, just because I'm a creature of habit.
Okay, we don't.
But I'm okay
want to
with,
do
well, you know, my only concern is that, I mean, just the timing of it is sort of putting us in the last week of May.
So do you like June 2nd at 3:45? That's a Thursday.
I was kidding about the time. I'll be there. You can make any time. If getting us earlier, are you guys out of school yet, Vince? Okay. If we want to move it to a different time, I'm okay with that. I was kidding. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking. In that first week of June, I'm really requesting relief in the last week of May with the end finals and school and wankety wank, blah, blah, blah. So something in the first week of June, if that meets our needs in a timely enough manner, Chief.
That's fine.
It will, sir.
I think it'll be good. We also have our captain promotion, so we can bring that to that meeting as well.
Chief, is that good for you?
May 7th, the assessment
The
center
assessment.
portion of this process is May 7th, so that should be wrapped up by then also.
Okay, that's fine.
You guys, if you want to check and see if the room's available or anything like that, but if we can do something in that week, that'd be swell.
Okay, we'll work
Yep.
towards May 2nd.
Yes,
We'll send you a
June
note.
2nd,
I'm sorry, June 2nd.
3:45.
Okay.
Okay, anything else for the good of the cause? Got protests going here, we got free agency in the police department. It's
2020.
getting on social media,
I mean, we.
gonna get some TikToks going. I kind of like this. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion.
I will second the motion.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposes? All right, everybody have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you guys so much.
Ms. Taylor, can I keep this? Erica?